All right, so we are on one of our last units. We've got a few units left. This is unit 14 that we're on, and this is our nutrition unit. Specifically, we're going to talk about macro and micronutrients. We are going to do a career exploration. We haven't done that yet in this semester. Career exploration and the project you've already started. So those are the last 3 units. This one, the career exploration, and the project. That's what we have yet to finish. So these notes were taken largely from WebMD, okay, on the internet. Here's the address on the web. And we're going to talk about, like I said, macro and micronutrients. So with your notes out in front of you, if you lose those notes, you can reprint them at home on my website. They'll be attached there. Okay, so some of the things that you can research on your own, and some of the things we'll be talking about here are how much protein do we need, how many carbohydrates do we need, how much fat do we need, what's the difference between macro and micronutrients. So there's links on the document that you can go to. So for example, see if I can get there here. So there's some extra information on the document, and I guess, oh, actually this is a little extra information. How much protein do I need? So we'll cover a little bit about this, but some of the extra topics I think you'll have to do on your own. Okay? All right, let's talk about macronutrients first. Macronutrients are the nutrients that your body needs in large amounts, which includes fat, carbohydrates, and protein. Grab that door there at the back, would you? Do you mind? Somebody? So the macro or larger, so if we take apart this word, macro means large scale and micro means mini scale or small scale. So macronutrients, the fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Nutrients that give you energy are called macros. Okay? Macronutrients contain the components of food that your body needs to maintain its systems and structures. You need all 3 macronutrients as part of a healthy diet. Okay? You need all 3. Fats, carbohydrates, proteins. So you shouldn't exclude or seriously restrict any of them. There are certain diets and ways of eating and different sort of perspectives on things that cut out all of maybe something in this list, but not a good idea to cut out everything. Everything should be balanced, but you can restrict some extra things for sure. All right, how much protein do we need? Protein is essential to many of the body's functions, including tissue structure. That's literally the building of your flesh. Tissue structure. Hormone system. Okay, for the regulation and generation of hormones in your body. Metabolic system. Okay, how your body metabolizes or breaks down food and uses it. Transport system, so moving nutrients and different things around your body. Enzymes that regulate metabolism. And balancing the acid-base environment in your body. So there's a lot of very finely tuned systems in your body that protein is very important for. Okay? The amount of protein you need, it depends on your weight and how much exercise you get. So if you guys, maybe some of you guys or girls that work out a lot, you know, the protein shakes or the protein bars, right? Those kind of things that you've heard of. If you exercise a lot, if you lift a lot of weights or you do a lot of sports, you're basically, your muscles are expanding and contracting a lot. And as you push them, literally the strands, the muscle fibers start to tear a little bit and pull apart. And you need protein to fill those gaps. That's what makes your muscles bigger. Okay, so here's your muscle before you're working out, and then you start to work out and you kind of rip it a little bit, and there's tiny little gaps in between the fibers. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it a bit. But then you need protein to fill in those gaps so you can grow more muscle, right? So you're lifting, you know, you kind of like, it kind of hurts a little bit. Well, you're literally shredding your muscles just a tiny bit so that there's more room to build on the, in between those sort of shredded pieces. In a sense, I'm oversimplifying it, but the official recommendation from the Dietary Reference Intake Report is 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Okay, that's average. An average sedentary man. So sedentary means not very active, doesn't move around a lot, is not working out. Just the average guy that doesn't do much exercise should eat around 56 grams of protein daily. An average sedentary woman should eat around 46 grams daily. Okay? So the amount of protein comes from all sorts of different foods. Meat is the obvious one that people think of. But eggs and all that sort of stuff, different things that are non-meat are high in protein as well. Okay? Any questions here so far? Okay, so again, protein is very important for all of these systems in your body, especially. And like I said, when you work out, your tissue structure is huge, right? Okay. The more exercise you get, the more protein you can safely eat. You should aim to get between 10% and 35% of your daily calories from protein. Put it in the bucket. Am I going to be able to read that? Hand it in. Okay, have a seat. Your body can't store protein. Once you reach the amount you need, your body will convert the rest to energy or fat. So if you eat a lot of protein and you're not using it, it's going straight to fat. You should get your daily requirement, then focus on carbs and fat, carbohydrates and fat for the rest of your calories. Okay, so again, if you overeat, it's too much protein, then it goes to fat. It'll give you some energy, but if you don't work it out, it goes to fat. Same with other things too. Your body's good at kind of taking in things, especially things used for energy like this, and saying, okay, if you're going to be needing it, I'll give it to you. But if you're not going to use it, I'll store it away for later. And so that storing it away for later is body fat. When it comes to protein, where it comes from does matter. While processed meat may have a lot of protein, it also has saturated fats. Do you know what we mean when we talk about processed meat? Okay, salami, Spam, hot dogs, processed meat. So if it's raw meat, like if it's meat from a cow or from a pig or something like that, that's not processed. If it's put into sausage or put into these deli meats, thanks for all the ads. I don't want them. Okay. Well, anyways, you guys can look this up later. If there's preservatives put in there, okay, cold cuts, hot dogs, you guys are right. Chicken nuggets, beef jerky, pepperoni that goes on your pizza, stuff, breakfast sausage, so on. Hamburgers. Yeah, bacon there's lots of stuff added to that, so it's been processed. That one you think, it's straight from the pig's back or whatever, but no, it's got a lot of stuff in it too. It has a lot of saturated fats, and other ingredients that are bad for you. So whenever possible, you should get your protein from plant sources. Meat is okay too. Generally, meat's okay. There are other things in meat as well, but meat is a natural thing, so meat is fine. Plant sources are an important part of getting protein as well. Like tofu and eggs, and what other plant-based protein do we know of? You should know some. Yeah, beans, yeah. Lentils, peas, lentils. Yeah, eggs. I mentioned eggs. No, eggs aren't plants, but eggs as an example. Yeah, you're right. Eggs not a plant. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there's eggplant. That's a plant. Okay. Sorry. Yes, eggs aren't plants. I was just thinking of other sources of the meat, but okay. Plant sources provide not only protein but also fiber and micronutrients as well. The best plant sources of protein include, okay, so maybe some of you saw these, beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, and we mentioned seeds, whole grains too. So beans, lentils, nuts, believe it or not, that's good protein. Seeds and grains, whole grains. Hello?
What's the difference between seeds and the beans?
Between seeds and beans?
Yeah.
Well, beans are different than seeds. That's the difference.
Literally, they are both method.
Like I'm talking about seeds, like like sunflower seeds or seeds that come from a shell like that. Yeah.
But they are both plants way.
Yes, they would both come from the same larger category.
Yeah.
But like kidney beans and all beans, although technically they might be
also
considered
seeds.
Yeah.
They should.
But you know what I mean by like seeds and beans, they're different, right?
Okay.
Right? Like a kidney bean versus a sunflower seed, right? Like they're different. They're different, yeah. Yeah. All right, if you do eat protein from animal sources, choose healthier options such as poultry, which is chicken, fish, seafoods, eggs. About 3 servings of dairy daily, particularly yogurt's a good idea. If you have other dietary restrictions that you can't eat dairy or eggs or something like that, then or seafood, you're allergic to shellfish or something, then that's fine too. But these are other good sources if you can handle them. All right, let's turn our attention to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates provide fuel for your body. During high-intensity exercise, they allow your body to use carbohydrates instead of protein during exercise. So remember, if you have carbohydrates, that's where your body can get energy from. It doesn't have to eat your protein, like eat away at your muscle, kind of let's say. So that's possible, right? If you don't have enough carbs, then your body turns to something else it needs to provide the energy that your brain is telling it needs to use. So carbs are good for energy, which helps preserve your muscle mass. Additionally, carbohydrates provide energy for your central nervous system, which includes your brain. Okay, so carbohydrates, really good for energy. Questions? Good. I used to play junior hockey, and we'd always have a big meal at about 2 o'clock. It was always a big pasta meal, pasta and chicken. Before every game, yeah. Before every game, yeah. So we load up on carbs so that night we didn't use our protein muscle mass, right? Didn't use that up, but we used up the energy from the carbs. Yes?
It's kind of unrelated, but to get low blood sugar, that means your blood doesn't have sugar, right? So that are carbohydrates turned into sugar or protein turned into sugar?
Okay. Okay, on that note, we're talking about sugar, blood sugar, and fats and stuff like that. You can watch this. Anybody remember what BMI stands for? Body mass index, yes. So you can look up that link from the website later if you want. Okay, carbohydrates are the primary fuel for your body. You should get between 45% to 65% of your calories from carbs. As with protein, the type of food that you get your carbs from is important. Carbs can also be found in healthy and unhealthy foods. So 45 to 65%. The healthiest source of carbohydrates can provide you with fiber, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. Phytochemicals are compounds found in plants that can help fight diseases. These include unprocessed whole grains, beans, vegetables, and fruits. So, less sugar, less processed meat, more grains, beans, vegetables, and fruits. Good idea. Yeah. Again, anything that's a little more natural is a good idea. There's a lot of foods that you might think are natural that have been there's additives. There's a lot of preservatives and additives added to food to keep them from spoiling primarily. So there's a lot of things that you think are pretty healthy, and generally they might be, like vegetables or fruits from the grocery store or whatever. And that's definitely better than chips and Twinkies and Coke to eat on. But there's still some risk of some preservatives and different things like that, so it's not maybe as healthy as you think. Questions? Unhealthy sources of carbohydrates can cause spikes in your blood sugar. They can lead to weight gain, diabetes, and heart disease. These include easily digestible foods such as white breads, pastries, soda, and other highly processed foods. So getting carbs from these things are a little less healthy than the others. Yeah, question?
What does it mean by white bread?
What does it mean by what?
White bread. Like actual just
Like actual white bread. Yeah, it's been like bleached. Bread is not normally like the white bread is not as natural. Whole wheat bread, sort of brown bread, right? That's better for you. White bread has a little bit of a sweet taste to it, and it's a little bit more moist. People like to eat white bread because it tastes better for most people, a lot of people. But whole wheat bread or the kind of the brown bread is better for you because it's just fewer additives to it.
Who thinks whole wheat bread tastes better than white bread?
Lots of people do. Yeah. Some people like it better.
It tastes better or it's just healthier?
It's better for you.
Well, it doesn't taste better though.
Well, some people think so, apparently. Okay, any other questions? Okay. All right, let's talk about fat. How much fat do you need? Fat is actually an important part of your diet. Your body needs fat for essential fatty acids that your body can't make. So you need to get some acids that your body can't produce. It is a component in cell walls. So the actual cells that make up your body needs fat to build healthy cell walls. It's a source of energy. Absorbing fat-soluble vitamins, including vitamins K, E, D, and A. And it's used for insulating your body and protecting your organs. Now, generally, like you need fat as part of your body, depending on your exercise schedule and your eating habits and the type of things that you eat. Obviously, your body can tend to store more fat than it needs. And think about this too, like it's not always necessarily just the fat that you can grab on your arm or whatever that, oh, that's my fat. But inside, around your organs too, fat builds up deep inside. So it's not always just kind of surface stuff. It's kind of like your body can store a little bit too much fat around your internal organs too, which makes it kind of tough for them to function well. But you do need a certain level of fat in your diet, absolutely. Okay, you should try to get 20 to 35% of your total daily calories from fat. As with other macronutrients, it's important that you get your fat from healthy sources. The healthiest types of fat comes from plants and are called monounsaturated. Monounsaturated. So these are the best types of fat, and polyunsaturated. Now we're going to talk about this a little bit more. There are also saturated, not unsaturated, but saturated fats, which are not good. So the mono and polyunsaturated fats are olives and olive oil, canola oil, peanut oil, avocados are a good source of fat, nuts and nut butters, corn oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil. Okay, so let's talk again just a little bit about the fish. So naturally fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, lake trout, sardines, albacore, tuna, good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. So this one is not a plant-based, but it should be mentioned that there's a really important fatty acid from fish. Part of the reason why fish are good for you. It's the omega-3 fatty acid, omega-3. It's good for your body. Just good, man. Just good. All right, let's talk about saturated fats then. These are not the great fats. Unsaturated fats versus saturated. Saturated fat comes mainly from animal sources and tropical oils, and shouldn't make up more than 7 to 10% of your diet because they're associated with bad cholesterol. You guys heard of cholesterol before?
Yes. Yes.
Cholesterol is the kind of the fat, the garbage that kind of cakes the inside of your arteries and stuff like that. It's not good. Not good. So it's connected with cholesterol and internal inflammation. Sources of saturated fat include beef, pork, lamb, veal, which is I think similar to beef. Veal is like calf meat, I think, isn't it? It's like younger cow meat. High-fat dairy products, cream and things like that. Processed meats, butter. Now, butter, the alternatives for butter, everybody uses butter. The alternatives for butter are like lard or margarine. So they have their downsides as well. So I know some people, even though butter has a lot of, has some cholesterol-bearing fat, it's still sometimes a better option than some other substitutes, but just trying to use a whole lot of butter, I guess. Processed baked goods such as pastries. Okay, pastries, if you're eating a lot of donuts, not good for you. Yeah, Timbits. Yeah, I shouldn't be eating a lot of that. They're good once in a while, but don't make a regular habit of it. Coconut and palm oil. Coconut, palm oil. They have some saturated fat in there. Okay? You should avoid eating any trans fat as well because it raises your bad cholesterol. Okay, keep, guys. Oh, thanks, sir. Got some new ones. Trans fat raises your bad cholesterol and lowers your good cholesterol. Cholesterol comes from animal products. If your cholesterol is normal, you should eat 300 grams or less of cholesterol daily. If your cholesterol is elevated, you should limit your dietary intake to less than 200 grams.
How do you measure grams?
Well, you look at the ingredients and the nutrition labels on the things that you eat. Well, I mean, if you're paying attention to this, then you could and should look at what you're taking in, yeah, and you can kind of calculate that. Some people that are on diet or that have health issues, they carefully monitor this kind of stuff. And everything you buy at the store should have a nutrition label on it, so you should know roughly. Okay, if you want to look at the 10 worst sandwiches and what better choices are, you can look at that link a little bit later too. All right, what's the difference between macronutrients and micronutrients? Well, I mentioned a little bit already. Your body needs large amounts of macronutrients to function. Your body only needs small amounts of micronutrients. So large is macro, small is micro. Micronutrients include water-soluble vitamins. So if you take, how many of you, well, you don't have to share this or not, but how many of you, if you want to share, take a multivitamin pill? Do you take like a multivitamin? Okay, I do. Okay, so if you're unsure that your diet is properly balanced, you might want to take a multivitamin to make sure that you're getting all of the trace amounts of micronutrients. There's a lot of little nutrients that are important, but they're in such small amounts that sometimes you could easily miss on a regular basis getting these. So if you take a multivitamin, it's supposed to supplement some of this stuff, and it's soluble in water. So vitamin C is a big one. Vitamin B1, thiamine, B2, riboflavin, B3, niacin, B5, pantothenic acid, B6, pyridoxine, B7, biotin, B9 is folate, B12, cobalamin. So there's a whole bunch of vitamin Bs. I'm not sure why they're all vitamin Bs, to be honest with you. Probably some, they're in the same category of some B category there. They have some relation. Fat-soluble vitamins. These are found in foods containing fat, and they include vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Hello.
Why did we skip some like numbers in the vitamin D's?
I don't know. Why are there some numbers skipped? Don't know. Don't know. You can write that question on the margin and look it up. It's a good question. Good question. Minerals. Minerals are also micronutrients, but your body needs more of some minerals than others. A balanced diet normally provides all the minerals your body needs. Minerals your body needs more of are called macro minerals. So macro minerals are the minerals in larger amounts that your body needs. And they include sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sulfur. And you'll find all those on the periodic table. If you look up over there, those are all on the periodic table. Those are elements. Potassium. Minerals your body doesn't need much of, they are called microminerals or trace minerals, or trace amounts would be very, very tiny amounts. Things like iron, zinc, iodine, selenium, copper, manganese, that's different than magnesium, manganese, fluoride, and it's spelled UO, not OU, fluoride, chromium, molybdenum. These are your micro minerals. And again, those are all in the periodic table as well. Your body also needs some minerals, but only in tiny amounts. And these include nickel, silicon, vanadium, and cobalt. Yeah, if you need to. All right, any questions?
I gotta snitch on me.
Yo, Demi.
I was with the Titus this entire last video.
Hey, Michael. Okay, I get it. You're not late. My bad.
You know, if it wasn't for you, I probably would have kept showing up late to every class. Thanks for keeping me honest. Oh, I forgot my telephone.
Yes.
I was wondering.